where the conversation is not just about brands, but about you, the consumer. I am your host, Ogale Abikele, and I'm very glad to welcome you to this edition of the show where we'll be talking about what makes you have that trust on the brand. Really, it's beyond the logo, the brand promise. Really, what makes you trust a brand? That's the conversation today. A brand might have a beautiful logo, might have a powerful advertising campaign. It can even have, your favorite superstar as a celebrity and, ambassador. But all of those, do they really count when you need to purchase that product? Does it really help you have that kind of trust? That's the conversation we're having today. And as always, we would really urge you to call into the show to share your opinion because your voice really matters on Consumers Connect. Okay, you're still on to Consumers Connect, and the conversation is really what makes you trust a brand. And as always, we went into the street to have conversations with individuals such as you and I to get their perspective on what really drives that kind of feeling and emotion that we're discussing today on the program. Let's take a listen.
Hello, good day. This is Rejoice speaking. So, to quickly answer this question, because this question is a bit broad, I'm going to list the few things that can build my trust as well as give ample examples. So, for me, my trust for brand grows when their actions rather consistently match their words. Just to mention a few that can build my trust with brands. Number one is consistency, and that has to do with the product quality or service quality. Because some businesses are fond of reducing their quality after a while when they've gathered enough customers after market penetration, and that's bad for business because a lot of perky customers like myself will detach from them. So secondly is transparency, whereby every business organizations have their own policies, their clear rules, their payment plans and all of that. So what keeps me loyal to a brand is transparency of communicating and clearly stating their policies, no hiding of important informations, to avert future discrepancies between the company and customers.
For me, I would say brand logo because there are some logos that you can be used to, and when you see them, you can just tell that these people they are of good qualities. Like for instance, if you see Nike shoes or Nike things, you just know that Nike is a very good brand and very good like that.
Okay, so the last response you got, the response you got right now is from the consumer who preferred to have the brand logo, something that would inspire her to have a trust for the brand. And the number to call into the show is 08058975897. You can call into the show via WhatsApp, and we'll be very excited to hear your opinion because, of course, on the show today, the consumers' voices are what we are looking to get from the show. So kindly call the number again, 08058975897. You can send us messages via WhatsApp. You can call via WhatsApp to get your responses aired on the show. It's still Consumers Connect, and the conversation is brand logo, brand promise, what really inspires you, what really, builds that sort of trust for the brand.
So let's go.
Okay. Good evening. You're welcome to the show.
Consumer Connect.
Yes, sir. You can go on with your comments and opinions.
Yeah, my comment is that what makes me to trust the brand is the satisfaction that I derive from the brand.
Okay.
If the product is able to meet up with what I want, I think I have a satisfaction. No matter the type of brand, I'll go for it.
Okay.
Because there are there are some well-known brands that they may not give you that satisfaction. I remember some time ago I bought a plate, I don't want to mention the brand, and it didn't kill any cockroach, it didn't kill any fly. So the other brand that is not popular was able to derive the satisfaction from that brand. So I have to stick with it.
Okay, so
For me,
yeah.
the satisfaction I derive from any brand.
Okay, so does that mean that you can try a new brand? Are you that kind of consumer that you don't mind trying something new? Someone approaches you and says, "I've got something I can perform, a lot more better than what you're used to." Can you try that?
Yes, that's what I do. That's what I do.
Okay.
I try it out. I try it out to see if it actually made the need.
Okay. Thank you so much for calling into the show. Really appreciate your contribution. So the number to call again is 08058975897. Call and let's get your opinions heard on the show. Really, it matters to us as individuals, consumers, brand managers to really get your perspective. The brands builders are doing a lot, but they also want to hear how do they make it, that kind of experience that you would value. So please call the number 08058975897. We have a call. Hello. You're welcome to Consumers Connect.
Thank you.
All right. Let's hear what you have to say.
Okay. Thank you for the opportunity to be part of this show. Personally, I trust brands that consistently meet my expectations in terms of product quality and excellent customer service. Though I don't expect any brand to be perfect, but how they respond when issues arise is a major factor for me. When a brand consistently delivers on quality and customer support, I would choose that brand again and again.
Okay, thank you so much. That's so heartwarming for any brand to hear. I would say yes. We have recognized the fact that things might go wrong, but consistency in being authentic and delivering value is what counts for the consumer who just spoke. Thank you so much for calling into the show. Really appreciate. So the number, thank you. So the number to call again is 080589758. You can call and share your opinion. We move swiftly into the segment behind the business behind the brand, where we speak to experts, brand builders, people who are doing the work behind the brands that you and I enjoy daily. And so it's very good for us to get your perspective. That's why we're having this segment of the show. We'll get there in a bit.
Opinion counts.
All right, now on the segment of the show, business behind the brand. We have a caller. Let's hear the caller first before we proceed.
Hello.
Good evening, ma'am. You're welcome to the show.
Good evening.
Yes, ma'am. Consumers Connect, yes. Yes. Go ahead, yes. Okay, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you. For me, I don't just look at just the branding or the packaging or the products. What cut out for me, I prefer quality. When I get a particular product, I would love to check, maybe taste it, or maybe milk or any beverage at all. I will taste it. If it's good, I know that brand, the packaging sometimes attracts people. We attract me fine, but that's not what will make me retain or have the continuous patronage of such products. It is the quality. If the quality is okay, I go for it. I don't bother about how the packaging looks after I have tasted the quality. That's my own contribution.
Okay, so I'm looking forward to a consumer. Thank you so much for calling into the show. I'm looking forward to a consumer who can share a real life experience with us on the show. If you can, kindly call the number 08058975897. 1158. Call in and share your experience. We're speaking about brands. We're talking about brand loyalty, brand trust. We really want to hear your experience. Now, we'd like to quickly move on to the segment business behind the brand, and would like to also invite our guests. We have two guests right now. We want to invite them to introduce themselves because they do better at introducing themselves. And we're very intentional about the kind of guests we're bringing on. We're bringing a public relation expert and an expert within the media buying space. These individuals will tell us their own experiences dealing with consumers and trust. So,
my name is Oboh Andrew. I am a media strategist in the marketing communication space.
okay, you're welcome to Consumers Connect. And I'd like our madam to introduce herself.
Okay, I'm Rita Ali-Nock, and I'm a reputation consultant and as well a media practitioner.
Okay, so the conversation is about reputation, and that's why we're very intentional about bringing a public relations practitioner. Because when we speak about trust, we're speaking about reputation. Brand needs reputation to be able to build the trust, and it is a trust that translates into patronage. So I would like to ask the public relations practitioner right here. A brand can spend millions creating awareness, but awareness doesn't necessarily equal trust.
True.
So from a PR perspective, public relations perspective, what are the key things a brand must consistently do to build a strong reputation that consumers can trust?
Okay, so I'll begin from the part where you said they could spend so much money but not necessarily build trust. And spending so much money on ads could get you in the conversation, you know. So that's the fact that people will recall your brand, they will know about your brand, maybe visibility, and then you're well positioned. But the difference between just advertising and having a public relations practitioner or a strategist manage your reputation is that you're building credibility, you're building integrity, transparency, your internal publics, that's advocacy, and lastly, you're also trying to understand your consumer relations as well. So it's quite encompassing.
Okay, so I would like to ask Mr. Oboh, as strategist you mentioned, you constantly interface with consumers. The question is really, how do brands, engage with consumers to build trust? And from your engagement with consumers, what would you say consumers see trust as? How would they define trust from your interactions with them?
Okay, so from my experience, I would say consistency. It's something that caller had referenced earlier, consistency, and in my field, I'd say more specifically consistency across the 4 P's of marketing. Price, product, people, and place. You have to consistently deliver on your price. It should be something that is on the same frequency with the people that you're targeting. The product you're delivering should have the quality that is expected. It should be able to stand the test of time. The people that are offering these services, be it a service or a product, people that are bringing this product, bringing this experience to the consumers, have to deliver at a certain level, and place. You always have to be available, because that's one thing a lot of brands overlook: availability of their products.
Yes.
So when you are available consistently over time, people see you, and it's psychological. They are not entirely aware of it, but it's just this reliance that they have on your product because you're always available.
Thank you so much. I like the perspective you brought into the conversation, availability, which is very key. And trust is still a major factor for us as a marketing communications expert, and very important for the consumer as well. But there's another aspect that I like us to take the conversation to, that's criticism, which is many a times one of the things that brand are very mindful of, very intentional about, managing crisis. As a public relations expert, you do a lot of reputation management, crisis management. In event of such happening, for a brand, what would you say are the necessary steps to take to reassure consumers? Before you answer, I would like to let our consumers know that they can still join the conversation by calling the number 080-589758. You can call via WhatsApp and we'll be ready to hear your opinions as well. Thank you. So please.
It's very important to be swift in your response when a crisis happens. As much as you're going to try and investigate or get to the matter, it is important that you respond swiftly, because when you don't do that, it's assumed that you are culpable. And you want to also ensure that you are reassuring as well, and you're admitting, you're taking account into the issues that have happened, not vaguely, but specifically mentioning what the issue is, and taking actionable steps to ensure and reassure them, being empathetic in your approach when you're, messaging, to ensure that you're taking the right steps, to solve or resolve the issue.
Okay, we got a response on WhatsApp. It says that I have always known that advertising does not guarantee quality. So for me, it has always been trials that convinces me. Whoever the brand ambassador is does not make any difference to me. This is from Princewell from Acme. Thank you so much for contributing to the show. And that brings me to the next question, advertising. And you're very familiar with advertising campaigns. So you pretty much in that space, right? Now, a consumer experiences a brand for the first time by way of awareness, communication via WhatsApp, via advertising on television. Now the consumer gets to purchase the product, doesn't feel that she or he is getting the experience. Now, as a custodian, work for the brands, you help them buy media spaces and all that. How can you manage the expectations of consumer vis-a-vis the brand that you serve?
So it's very important that we ground our expectations within the climes that we exist in. And one thing we always do as professionals in this space is that we conduct surveys, we do research, R&D. Very important, for brands. It's important that you are in tune with what is expected of your brand. The expectations of consumers say, oh, from this industry, in this space, in this location, these are the things that people expect you to deliver on, and then deliver on that. Because quite frankly, failure to deliver on that would impact you. No amount of advertising can make your product better than what is available in the market. And the matter of trust, people will trust you when they know that you deliver, you meet their expectations consistently. So it's very important for brands to engage in R&D, to do research, understand consumer habits, how consumer habits are shifting, because everything is shifting, these days. Understand what they want, and curate your services or products to deliver on those needs. So I would say, that's how we typically go about it.
Yes, thank you so much. There's another aspect I like us to also evaluate. That's the aspect of when things go wrong. So brands are like humans. They are not perfect.
Yeah.
Things can go wrong sometimes, and we've had issues, being communicated everywhere, and consumers are running up, everywhere, trying to say, oh, what's the panic everywhere. I don't want to call the names of brands, but in such situation, I would like to ask the madam here, what can the brands do? What can that, there is a damage in their reputation, which is normal now. We're all humans. Brands also are like humans, like I've already established. In such situation, how can the brand communicate honestly, transparently, and also reaffirm the consumer that we still stay true to our promise, irrespective of things that gone south and things like that?
I mean, failures are normal. I mean, as human beings, we all make mistakes. So it's how you deal with the failure or the mistake that determines the next step, right? So it's also the same thing with brands. When you make mistakes, I mean, just own up, own it. There's no need denying it or trying to be defensive or trying to, write beauty statements that makes you look not culpable to the issue. So I believe that once brands are able to, not even believe, it is actually brands are able to own up to their errors and their mistakes. I mean, consumers are human beings, they forgive. If you're empathetic,
They forgive.
they forgive and they forget as well.
Okay.
So long as you're consistent, like he has said, you're true to your brand promise. Over time they even become your ambassador because you've accepted your faults. You have told them you're taking measures, actionable steps. You're also taking steps to ensure that those errors don't reoccur, and they can see that because you're also showing them. And it builds trust over time, and then you eventually have them as your advocates. I know that we've had brands that have been, very extreme in dealing with issues like that, and possibly also didn't look at the right counsels, because I'm not going to say that they're wearing. We've had cases where people would ask the questions: did they have PR practitioners,
Yes,
within the organization? But be sure that they did.
Yeah.
It's just that sometimes, it depends on the direction of the leadership, and if he sees your role as a peer practitioner within the organization, as a managerial role or a leadership role, enough to bridge the gap and to advise him where necessary, then such occurrence won't have occurred, could have been avoided.
Okay, so from your own experience, what can you say in that regard?
So I'll just piggyback off what she said. I think it's very important for brands to look at the dynamics between their consumers like a relationship. It is very symbiotic, and with the same amount of sensitivity you would treat your friend, you would regard your friend, you would also extend that to your consumers. Empathy is one thing that it's a gold mine, if you ask me. Once people see that you see them, you understand what they are saying, once they feel seen, like I said, in your typical relationships also, that's the beginning of everything. Once you can hack that, then the rest is easy. And if you're delivering consistently and being true to yourself, you know that this is a flaw, it's a one-time thing, or you are willing to put in the work that is needed to do better and provide better for your consumers, then just see them. That's it for me.
I like that. See them. Absolutely. Thank you so much for coming on the show today. We'll move on to the next segment after this time. All right, you're still on to Consumers Connect show, and the conversation has been very interesting. Right now, we'll move on to the next segment of the show, Industry Update. I'd like you to know that the Advertising Industry Colloquium 4.0 held yesterday, bringing industry practitioners and members of the academic community in one space, really to chat the future of advertising in Nigeria. The topic really was centered around charting the future of advertising, and the role of people, platform, and regulation. Would like to share highlights from that event.
The Advertising Industry Colloquium continues to serve as an important platform for bringing together thought leaders, regulators, practitioners, academia, and emerging professionals to exchange ideas on the future of advertising and marketing communications in Nigeria. The theme for this year's colloquium, the future of advertising, the role of platform, people and regulation, reflects the opportunity and responsibility that accompany the rapid transformation of our industry. As technology reshapes communication and digital platforms continue to influence consumer engagement, the need for responsible innovation, professional excellence, and effective regulation has never been more critical than this time.
It's a technology that will put what you create in context, who understand who the people are, their sensibility when you are creating content. It is not artificial intelligence. It is you as a person that is creating content that will know that if you create certain content, it's offensive to sensibility of people in certain society based on their culture, their religion, their biases and whatever it is. It is not the artificial, it is not the technology.
So every click provides behavioral insight, and every online interaction generates commercial intelligence. Every purchase strengthens the predictive capability of the platform owners. Therefore, the platform economy, we should be asking who controls advertising, who owns advertising platforms, and how much of the platforms do they own? Who owns the consumer data? And whoever owns the data controls every other process. Who determines what the audience see, hear, read, or feel? Who benefits economically from digital advertising? These are questions we should be asking.
It is estimated that for you to make a purchase decision now, more than ever before, it takes approximately 10 resources. And I'll run you through it. Classic scenario. Let me use the ladies. You want to do your hair, or you want to buy hair, or whatever, braids, or what's called. Do you just see the ads that you see online and just decide, I'm going to buy? No. What do? You speak to your friend. I like this your style. Where you buy the attachment for? Apart from the fact that you're just seeing the ads online, you are also speaking to your friends, your community. And we are seeing that transition in how content is being created. People don't trust what brands are saying anymore because we have what we call banner blindness. After a couple of times you see an ad, it just flies over your head. And what you now find is that people trust more communities.
That's the highlight from the event, which was hosted by the Advertising Regulatory Council of Nigeria, ALCON. For the interest of our consumers who may not already know, ALCON is the apex regulatory body regulating all forms of marketing communications exposed to you and I. When I mean marketing communications, your adverts you see on television, the radio jingles, the advert you see on your phone, digital platforms, these adverts have to be vetted and approved by a regulator, and that regulator is called ALCON. They ensure that all of the adverts that you're exposed to are in line with necessary guidelines, ethical standards to ensure that they do not, infringe on your rights as consumers, and they are in tandem with your expectations, your values, and everything else that makes you comfortable to receive those communications. And I would like to also say congratulations to the Kwara State University. They became, the winner for the year in advertising industry colloquium happens annually, and they always have pitch competitions. They met winner at the competition yesterday. Congratulations to Kwara State University and all Kwara alumni. Did you finish from Kwara State? Okay. All right. So we're still on Consumers Connect, but I would like to get your perspective before we conclude the show. If you listened carefully, conversations were being made around trust, connections, platform, and you as one who you made the decisions as to which platform, right? So is there anything you want to say regarding that? The conversation was about platform, people, consumers understanding them, data is changing, consumer behavior is changing. How all of that really comes to bear when you make such critical decisions for brands?
It's very important that you speak the language of the people that you are trying to communicate with. And I'd use that as a figurative statement in the sense that the language in this sense would encompass the medium that they have high affinity for. It would encompass the messaging structure that would resonate best with them. It would encompass the messaging statement. It's basically our job as media strategists, planners, buyers is basically trying to understand where the consumer is most open to receiving your message, and then putting your message at that exact spot.
I wish we had more time. I know you have a lot more to say. But I would like to say thank you for coming on to the show. Thank you so much, Rita, for coming as well. We should have this some other time, don't you think so? All right, so that's it on Consumers Connect here. I'm very excited to have this conversation. Really brought to the fore a lot of issues, and also want to appreciate every one of you who called into the show to contribute. The conversation was really about beyond logo, beyond brand promise. What is that thing that helps you or that really inspires you to trust the brand? And that's it on Consumers Connect this week. Look forward to having you for another engaging conversation next week. You can connect with me on WhatsApp at 08169441721 to send in your messages, or even have any conversation that will be ready to listen to you. Do well to join us same time next week on Consumers Connect Show. Have a wonderful evening.